Today I'm going to be talking about the tale of Dionysus, the Greek god of wine. The god Dionysus was also called Bacchus. As the god of wine, he was held in highest esteem, being paired with Demeter as providing basic sustenance for humankind, although Dionysus was known primarily as the god of wine. He was a great deal more than that, however. He was one of the oldest Greek gods, his name having been identified in inscriptions dating to the Bronze Age circa 1250 BCE. The Trajan Euripides play, The Bacchae, offers the most comprehensive information about Dionysus and the nature of his worship, especially in the earliest period of Greece. While Dionysus was among Greece's oldest identifiable deities, he was not originally Greek. In all likelihood, he was a Near Eastern deity from Lydia or Pythagoras, who made his way to Greece via Thrace and Macedonia, or via the Greek islands. He was originally and first and foremost a god of liquid life, in particular of the life-sustaining fluids and plants. It was he who was responsible for plant growth, and for this reason he was called Dendrites, and Anthos, bloom-producing, and Carpios, bringer of fruit. By extension, he became god of liquids made from plants, as well as issuing from other sources in nature, including wine, milk, and honey. Dionysus enjoyed great popularity in Greece, his worship spreading like wildfire. Reasonably so, as he was the most democratic god of all. Even the people, not part of this thing I'm reading from, but even people of higher power, such as the kings and emperors, they also worshipped him as they liked partying and wine. He was a god of blurred distinctions, an effeminate shapeshifter, doubtless to some degree an effect of his sacred wine. As such, he was the opposite of his half-brother Apollo, the god of order, and many other things, because Apollo cannot just seem to make up his mind, but with whom he shared the sacred mountain of Parnassus. Everyone was equal in Dionysus' eyes, male and female, young and old, slave and free, even human and animal. His worship was most popular among women, whose place was in the home and whose movements were greatly restricted in the Greek society. The worship of Dionysus was considered an essential release from daily routine, and in case of women who consisted of greater numbers of his worshippers, it provided a welcome opportunity to leave behind the shuttle and room, partially by consuming him in the form of wine and partially through ecstatic dancing. Dionysus' celebrants would achieve communion with the god, becoming enthusiastic Bacchians and manic ones, literally having the god inside them, and Theos in Greek. They headed for the mountain wilderness, there to be one with nature. Smaller young animals would be seized, torn apart, and consumed raw, their blood being viewed as another incarnation of their deity, While such rituals continued into historic times, especially in rural areas, the city of Athens transformed the worship of Dionysus into performances in the theater, which were staged in his honor. Dionysus thus also became the patron god of the theater. So, in summary of that last part, Dionysus, he basically inspired theater itself, as people, as in the story said, did plays to worship him, tragedies, comedies, and other things. There's a few websites online to look it up if you're interested in the topic of how it was created and how worship helped for different gods helped create theater and helped make it what it is now. But back to the book. As regards Dionysus' own mythology, he was the son of the Pythagorean Zeus and the Theban princess Semele. As was so often the case, Hera was jealous of her husband's roving eye and caused Semele to doubt that was the god with whom she was sleeping. When Zeus next visited her, Semele asked for a favor, which Zeus was bound to grant. She asked him to appear to her in his full divinity, and as a result, she was incinerated, basically turned to ashes. Zeus rescued the unborn Dionysus and placed him in his thigh. After 9 months, Dionysus emerged and was taken to the Nysian nymphs to raise. According to an alternate myth, Dionysus was raised by his mother's sister Ino. When grown, Dionysus took a sea voyage, wishing to travel to Naxos, but was taken captive by pirates who wrongly believed that their princely cargo would yield a handsome ransom. Only the pirates' captain, Acidus, acknowledged that they were in the presence of divinity and was deferential. Dionysus caused the ship to become immobile, covered with grapevines, eerie flute music filling the air. Next to Dionysus appeared phantom tigers, lynxes, and panthers, causing the pirates, apart from Acidus, to jump overboard in fear. The god and his attendants faced more challenges when he arrived in Thrace. They were being attacked by Lycurgus, who was duly punished when he reached Thebes, his birthplace. Dionysus met resistance from his cousin Pentheus. The young regent, who refused to acknowledge his divinity as a consequence of his arrogance, Pentheus, was torn to pieces by his own mother and her sisters. While they were in the Blackett Trojans of Mount Ciceron, mistaking Pentheus for a young lion, not all of Dionysus' exploits were violent. However, his bride was King Minos of Crete's daughter Ariadne, whom he rescued from Naxos, where she had been abandoned and made immortal, as many people before who read myths, because people are just screwed that way for some reason. As for Dionysus' attributes and symbols, the grapevine and ivy, a plant emblematic of eternal life, were especially sacred to him. Typical companions were satyrs and Cylons, lusty hybrid creatures, as well as maidens. His female followers, the gods and his followers, appeared frequently in Greek art, especially on cups and pitchers used for wine. There, Dionysus is depicted regularly with long hair, bearded, feathered with ivy, wearing the skin of a fawn, and holding a wine cup in his hands. The Romans identified Dionysus with their wine god Liber. I already went through his tale in this book that I have about Greek mythology that I bought at Barnes & Noble's for $30 here in the US. But Dionysus is also prevalent in games. For instance, in the game Hades, I'm pretty sure in that game, I don't know, as I have not played it, as I do not have enough money to purchase it. But I'm pretty sure in the game, Dionysus was Zagreus, the main character in the game. Ignore the dog coughing, she's just being a booty hole. But along with, in the Percy Jackson series, he's seen as uncaring of the Half-Bloods. But he actually cares deeply for them. He just doesn't show it, as he's been made to stay at the camp for so long, and he's seen countless demigods die. And he probably doesn't want to feel that pain of getting attached, only to witness them dying after having to go on a quest. But he clearly cares for his own kids in his cabin. But in the Percy Jackson TV series, which the new season I believe comes out this December, around towards the end of this December, actually, if I got my information correctly. But the actor that plays Dionysus in the TV series was also playing a minor character in the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I highly recommend watching as it is so good. It's funny, it has lore, and it's sure to make you laugh. Anyways, this is it for now, so this is a goodbye.